The idea is that there's a three-legged stool of support to students in the Beacon program, which involves faculty mentors, caseload counselors, and the peer coaches. And the peer coaching's a critical piece because it's the first phase of the Beacon effort.
The peer coaches start at the beginning of the enrollment phase, starting with inquiries. Once a student is interested, the peer coaches will begin calling. Then they move through the admission stage and they work with them for financial aid, placement testing, until they get enrolled.
With the ultimate goal that when students arrive here, first day of class, they've got everything taken care of. There's nothing hanging.
Once the peer coaches set the goals and the goal has been met to get the student enrolled, they work in the College 101 class with the three-tier group, the faculty mentor, the counselor, and the peer coach.
And then at that point, the main support is handed over to the caseload counselor.
Peer coaching means to me helping a student achieve their success and knowing that I was part of that success.
Peer coaching to me just means being there for the students, understanding that each student comes from a different background, and having a peer coach, being a peer coach, you could be the only positive influence that they have in their life. So it's good to always understand that.
Peer coaching means to me that you get a chance to actually be a role model to the students.
Personal and professional growth.
Peer coaching means a lot to me. I think it means really being an example and showing students that you've been there, that it's worth it, that working through a job and a family and all of that, it really makes it all worth it. Coming here and really, you're bettering your whole life.
So I like to think that, being a peer coach is kind of like the foundation, their start towards our journey here at Mount West.
Peer coaching means to me being able to help the students through their first year of college.
Peer coaching to me means the opportunity and the privilege to help pay it forward. As someone who's just finishing their academic journey here at Mount West, I have had the opportunity to help others in their journey.
My greatest moment is when I have helped students get outside resources for problems they might have had, and then them coming back to me explaining, that they passed a class due to my help and me just going the extra mile to help them.
My greatest moment being a peer coach would have to be seeing students come in with little to no confidence at all in themselves, and then watching them develop and succeed and come to you and say, hey, look, I've got straight A's, or I'm getting ready to graduate. That would have to be my greatest moment.
My greatest moment would be, well, like in the College 101, you're like a little family, and sometimes you think that you can share almost anything, and that's kind of like one of the greatest moments that I've had.
My greatest moment is getting a really shy kid in College 101 to really open up. He was very adamant against not speaking in class. I'd even speak to him directly and ask him questions. He would just shake his head no at me, and eventually through a few icebreakers throughout the entire class, I would get him to open up a little bit and even say one word and get him to say complete sentences by the end of the semester.
Greatest moment is I had a student come in and he was absolutely freaking out. He thought he was going to fail and drop out and have to just completely leave the school altogether, and he ended up coming and talking to us, and we kind of talked him through it, and we told him you can do this and helped him out and got him a tutor, and he's still here and he's making good grades and he's loving it and he's really enjoying it. So
the gratification that I get by helping students, when I walk in here, I have a tendency of seeing the look on a lot of students' face not knowing what to do, not knowing what to expect, and being able to sit down with that student and walk them through the procedures that we have here at Mount West, and knowing when they leave that they're comfortable enough to do this on their own, you know. And plus, if they need the help, they know where they can come and get immediate help when needed.
My greatest moment with students, there's several. I've been invited to 2 weddings, a couple baby showers, but not only that, on Friday watching a couple of my students walk across the stage was very awesome, and I felt like a proud mother.
Being able to help my students from my College 101 class with any problems or issues that they may have.
My greatest moment occurred during one of our College 101 classes. We had a project where students were able to discuss how they came to be at Mount West, their journey. And we had one particular student who gave an emotional, powerful testimony, and it just made me realize how important our job as peer coaches is, and just the support that Mount West can provide to people.
My greatest moment is basically when I see students succeeding, because for me it's all about success. So once I see the students are succeeding, I feel like my goal had been met.
A couple of advices I have to let the new peer coaches know: there's a lot of work to do when you're a peer coach. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of responsibilities, and we don't really lack in our work. We always work as a team.
The advice that I would give to the upcoming peer coaches would be that you have to be willing to go out of your comfort zone and be upfront with the students.
Put your heart out there, kind of open up. Being an example, you kind of have to open up. You got to be more of an open book, and you got to show them, I've been there, and yeah, it's been rough. Or, you know, yeah, this class, I didn't like it at all. It just wasn't my fit. But, you know, once you push through it, it'll be okay. So really just opening up and being really open with the students about your own experiences.
Stay humble. You know, you've all been in this process for quite some time now. You know how the school works. You know, when people come in and they don't know what FAFSA is or anything like that, don't make them feel, and don't belittle them, you know, because it's a new process for them. And I believe if you stay humble, you know, it'll carry you far, because that'll keep you grounded, you know, because everybody's here for one reason, and that's to help a student. You got to keep that in mind. And to me, being a peer coach and everything, it's about the student driven.
Yes, to be open-minded, do not be judgmental with any student. But not only that, keep a positive attitude. And even when you don't have a positive attitude, fake it till you make it. Because, you know, that bad attitude is very contagious. It's just like a positive attitude is contagious. So if you go in the peer coach room with a positive attitude, then eventually everyone else will feel it too. And, you know, it's very important that we're like that with the students, that we keep a good attitude.
The advice I would give is to be understanding and compassionate with the students and with the people you work with.
The advice that I will give to the upcoming peer coaches is to deal with each and every student equally, and believe that all students have a power and an intelligence, and just try to find this point in them.
Determination.
Caring.
Positivity.
Confidence.
Commitment. Because you are committed to this job, even in the room or out into the school, or even out in the public. I mean, you are a peer coach every day. And to me, that is what's important. I mean, there's been many times I've talked to students, you know, potential students, students in Walmart, you know, just talking to them about their exams, if they have a question. I mean, I'm on the job 24 hours a day. And that's what you need to be, is committed to the job.
Multitasking. There are so many parts and pieces to being a peer coach. There's phone calls, there's working the front desk, there's one-on-one interactions with students, as well as interacting in the classroom setting.
Understanding. I feel like you come in contact with so many different types of people that you have to be willing to be understanding of the situation they are in so that you can help them.
I think you have to be sentimental because you really have to, you see a lot of different backgrounds and diversity, and part of being a peer coach is you're there and your support. So you have to treat each situation differently, and you know, you really have to, you have to be there for them. It's more than just, you know, we're not teachers, we're not here to teach them a subject, but we're here to help them climb the steps of success and get their degree and move on and do bigger and better things.